Can a shoemaker be called an artist? Yes, if he has the same skill and pride in his trade as any other artist and the same respect for it too. So, why can't a shoemaker be called an artist? If he is talented, if he is skillful, if he is creative, then he can also be called as an artist. Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker settled in London, is a perfect artist. So according to the author, Mr. Gessler is a perfect artist. That means he made perfect shoes. Read this story to see how he devotes his life to his art. So let us see what happens to the shoemaker in the end. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. The author knew the shoemaker since a long time because he used to make boots for his father. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. So this shoemaker, he lived with his elder brother in the shop, and this shop was located in the small street at the crossing in a fashionable part of London, that means in the busy part of London. The shop had a certain quiet distinction. This shop was different from all other shops. How? There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers. So, this shop had no kind of sign written or any symbol on the shop except for Gessler Brothers written outside on the signboard, and in the window a few pairs of boots. So a few pairs of boots were displayed, that's all. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. So he only made shoes that were ordered to him, and what he made never failed to fit. That is, he always made shoes that fitted perfectly. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me then and still seems to me mysterious and wonderful. The author always wondered how he could make such beautiful, such perfect shoes. It was really a mystery to him. What trick did he apply to make such perfect shoes? I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, it is an art. So the author says that once, very shy he was to expose his foot to the shoemaker. He asked whether the shoemaker could make good shoes for him. Why was he shy? Because he felt that his foot did not have good shape. What was the reply of the shoemaker? That it is an art. Whatever may be the shape of the feet, the shoemaker's duty was to make perfect shoes. It was not possible to go to him very often. His boots lasted terribly, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of boots stitched into them. So he made perfect shoes that lasted for a long period of time. The customers didn't require to meet him regularly. They had no complaints against him, and the most important thing was that the stitching was so perfect, so nice, as if permanently the boots would fit the person's feet and would never wear out. That is what is meant by this line. One went in not as into most shops but restfully, as one enters a church, and sitting on the single wooden chair waited. So there was complete peace in his shop. One could enter there, take his or her time to order a pair of shoes to him, and there was much silence in the shop. One could feel as if the person entered a church. There was a wooden chair in the shop. One could sit there and wait for the shoemaker to arrive. A guttural sound and the tip-tap of his slippers beating the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little bent in leather apron, with sleeves turned back, blinking as if awakened from some dream of boots. So a guttural sound means a harsh sound, and the tip-tap of his slippers. His slippers made tip-tap sound. Beating the narrow wooden stairs, he would come down through the wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat. A little bent, he would stand a little bent, wearing no coat, in leather apron, with apron on himself, with sleeves turned back, sleeves turned, that would show he was busy at work, blinking. He would blink his eyes as if awakened from some dream of boots, as if he was in a dream, and now that he has come out from that dream due to the interruption of the author. And I would say, "How do you do, Mr. Gessler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots?" So the author wanted to know how he made such wonderful shoes, and he wanted him to make a pair of Russian leather boots for him. Without a word, he would leave me, retiring whence he came, or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair, inhaling the incense of his trade. So what he would do? He would not speak a word. He would get back to the same place from where he came, and then what he would do? He would bring something. And here, in the meantime, the author, he would keep sitting in the wooden chair, inhaling, here breathing the incense, that is the smell of his trade. Trade means here the leather. That is, just as one goes to the church and inhales the incense, that is the smell of incense in a church, the same way here he kept sitting and inhaled the incense of his trade. That is the smell, he inhaled the smell of the leather. Soon he would come back, holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather. So what would be there in his hand? A piece of gold brown, that is the color of the leather that he would bring as sample to ask with what material the boots would be made. With eyes fixed on it, he would remark, "What a beautiful piece." When I too had admired it, he would speak again, When do you want them? And I would answer, oh, as soon as you conveniently can. And he would say, tomorrow fortnight. Or if he were his elder brother, I will ask my brother. So, when the author would agree to the making of his boots with the leather that he brought, he would speak. He would start speaking actually. He asked, when do you want them? And I would answer, and the author would answer, as soon as you conveniently can. That means when you feel comfortable to hand over the shoes, you can hand them to me. And he would say, tomorrow fortnight. That means from tomorrow, after 2 weeks, I would hand you over the shoes. Or if he were his elder brother, and if instead of the shoemaker, if his elder brother would have been present there, then what his reply would have been? I will ask my brother. That is, he would have asked the shoemaker. So from this line, it is clear that Mr. Gessler, the shoemaker, here he is having all the talents, all the skills in making of perfect boots. His elder brother, he also made shoes, but he just assisted the shoemaker. So this is clear from this line.